Sold! That's the sound of the hammer dropping for the most expensive Lamborghini ever sold at auction at a jaw-dropping $8.3 million. These Italian furies sent bidders into a frenzy. We're talking V12 beasts, rare one-of-ones, and jaw-dropping price tags that shook the auction block. When the hammer drops, legends change hands. Buckle up, for in today's video we are counting down the top 10 most expensive Lamborghinis ever sold at auction. Number 10. 1969 Lamborghini Miura P400S by Bertone. Coming in strong from RM Sotheby's Monterey 2018 is the 1969 Lamborghini Miura P400S, one of the most compelling and untouched specimens you could ever dream of snagging at auction. Clocking in at $967,500, this particular Miura is a jaw-dropping, unrestored survivor.
$500,000, $550,000, $600,000, $650,000, $700,000, $750,000.
That sat untouched for over 46 years in a California stash known as the Junkyard, the Rudy Klein collection. Painted in a rare factory blue over matching blue leatherette and cloth interior, Chassis 4070 tells a story as vivid as its original hue. It was originally delivered to a well-heeled Lamborghini customer in Italy back in May of 1969. Though it was first ordered in Giallo Fly, the factory decided to repaint it blue before delivery. Now let's get into why this one sold for nearly $1 million. First off, it's a numbers-matching car. Chassis, body, and the legendary 4.0-liter V12 engine, all original. That power plant, engine number 30,366, delivered 370 horsepower, thanks to some serious upgrades over the original P400. We're talking higher lift camshafts, new Weber 40 IDL 3L carbs, and upgraded suspension featuring Coney shocks instead of the old Armstrongs. Back in the day, this beast could rocket from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds and hit a top speed of 172 miles per hour. That was straight-up supercar territory in the late 60s. But it wasn't a pristine concours queen. Quite the opposite. This car had battle scars. A front-end collision in the late 70s took it off the road, and it's been sleeping ever since. No front clamshell, no rocker trim, but everything else is shockingly intact. It was bought by Rudy Klein in 1978, and that's where it sat until RM Sotheby's rolled in and blew the dust off. This was the kind of auction lot that made seasoned collectors squirm in their seats. With just 338 documented P400S models ever made, finding one in such an unmolested state with this much provenance is about as rare as it gets. It was a blank slate, begging for the right kind of owner. Someone who'd restore it with reverence and precision. What makes it even sweeter is the fact that this car still had its original Jaeger metric instruments, showing roughly 32,750 miles. Not bad for a 55-year-old icon that spent most of its life tucked away in a warehouse in LA. Before we continue, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Number 9. 1968 Lamborghini Miura P400. This next gem shattered expectations when it rolled across the auction block at RM Sotheby's in 2021. The 1968 Lamborghini Miura P400, chassis number 3417, sold for a blistering $1.325 million, and you're about to see why that price made total sense.
$2, $1,200,000, $1,150,000, $1,200,000, and $1,150,000, $1,200,000.
This Miura was no garage queen either. It came from the very same Rudy Klein collection, the famed Junkyard that was basically a time vault of automotive treasures. This one had sat untouched for over 46 years. And when RM Sotheby's finally cracked open the gates, what they found was pure Miura gold. Originally finished in Giallo Miura, that sizzling Lamborghini yellow, over a blue leatherette interior, it screamed Italian swagger. Chassis 3417 was the 159th out of just 275 first-generation Miura P400s built. That alone makes it a unicorn, but it didn't stop there. This car also retained its original numbers-matching V12, a transverse-mounted masterpiece that cranked out 350 horsepower and could hit 170 miles per hour back in the day. The Miura P400 was the OG. Before the S and SV variants, This was the one that rewrote the playbook for what a supercar could be. It's got that pure design, that untouched DNA of what Marcello Gandini penned for Bertone. No chrome trim, no badges to clutter it up, just raw, animalistic beauty wrapped in sensuous curves. This specific car was shipped off to Lamborghini in Italy in March 1968 and was allegedly sold to a man named Zampoli. Could it have been Claudio Zampoli, the factory test driver who later founded Sesto? That's the speculation, and it adds one hell of a twist to the backstory. Zampoli was deep in the Lamborghini ecosystem and eventually became a key player in Southern California's exotic car scene. Whether it was him or not, the paper trail goes cold after the car landed stateside, where it was snapped up by Rudy Klein and tucked away in Los Angeles. Now, here's where it gets wild. This car may have been repainted a bright aqua green at some point, possibly to mimic a Miura SV. There was even confusion over its identity back in 2006, when a black Miura claiming this chassis number popped up in Germany. But RM Sotheby's put all doubts to rest. They inspected this exact car and confirmed that the chassis, engine, and body numbers all matched up. This was the real 3417. No clone, no fake. Here's what makes this sale even more fascinating. While most people go nuts for the later S and SV variants, there's a growing love affair with the original P400. It's the purest version, the cleanest expression of Lamborghini's moonshot moment. No extras, no distractions, just speed, sex appeal, and engineering that flipped the script on the entire sports car industry. When that hammer fell at $1.325 million, it wasn't just a Miura changing hands. It was history being handed off to a new steward. Someone who saw past the dust, the old paint, and the decades of silence to what this car truly was. A legend just waiting for a second chance to roar. Number 8. 2017 Lamborghini Centenario Roadster. Just 20 of these topless rockets were ever built, making it rarer than a decent parking spot at the Super Bowl. This particular one sold at RM Sotheby's Dubai auction for a cool $2.03 million.
Trying to scare you. At 1.5. At 1.5 million. At 1.5 million.
It was built to celebrate what would have been Ferruccio Lamborghini's 100th birthday. Lamborghini doesn't do mild when it comes to tributes, so they basically took the Aventador, gave it an angry makeover, cranked the volume to 11, and out came the Centenario. Powering this beast is a naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12. It spits out 759 horsepower and rockets to 62 miles per hour in just 2.8 seconds. Flat out, it'll do over 217 miles per hour, which is enough to outrun just about anything on wheels. This specific example was delivered new to Japan and stayed in a private collection, so it barely tasted pavement. It showed just about 100 miles on the clock when it was cataloged, which, of course, is showroom fresh. Finished in a gleaming balloon white over a Pelle Nero and Nero Alcantara interior, this thing is as menacing as it is elegant. It came loaded with everything from a car cover to Lamborghini-branded gloves and even the Certificato di Edizione Limitata from Lamborghini Polo Storico. The Centenario doesn't just drive fast, it screams exclusivity. Built in absurdly low numbers, drenched in carbon fiber, and engineered to celebrate a legend, it's a piece of Lamborghini's soul wrapped in thunder and carbon. That's what you're paying for, and that's why collectors can't stop chasing these down. Number 7. 1971 Lamborghini Miura P400 SV Speciale. This 1971 Lamborghini Miura SV fetched a cool $2.4 million at the 2021 Gooding & Company Pebble Beach auction. So what made this Miura SV worth a fortune? Let's break it down. First off, this Miura was the real deal. Low mileage, fully documented, and restored with one mission: keep it as close to the factory original as possible. This baby was brought back to life with obsessive attention to detail, especially those Weber carburetors which were restored to their original specs. The SV stands for Super Veloce, or super fast, which is exactly what this beast was built to be. Compared to earlier Miuras, the SV had a wider rear track, upgraded suspension, and a more powerful V12 engine. It wasn't just pretty, it was performance with purpose. Only 150 SVs were ever made, making this one of the rarest production Lamborghinis ever to roll out of Sant'Agata. Now here's where it gets even better. This SV was a late series car often called Series 2S, which came loaded with transitional SV features. Think bigger carbs, SV-style vented brakes, improved cooling, and rear CV joints. Basically the best of both worlds. Early styling with late-gen power and engineering. This particular car spent decades hidden away, almost like it was waiting for just the right moment to shine. It's a preservationist's dream. Authentic down to the Pirelli Cinturato tires it wore when it left the factory. Most of us will never even see a Miura SV up close, let alone one this original. So when this one hit the auction block, bidders knew exactly what they were looking at. A museum-grade icon that still had the soul of a raging bull. Number 6, 2010 Lamborghini Revent&o Roadster. A 2010 Lamborghini Revent&o Roadster sold for a jaw-dropping $2.5 million at RM Sotheby's back in 2019. Only 15 of these fighter jet-inspired monsters were ever built. The Revent&o Roadster was a full-blown stealth mode statement of power and exclusivity. Painted in a satin-finished Grigio Revent&o, that's a custom matte gray that looks like it came straight off an F-22 Raptor and lined inside with gray Alcantara. This car whispers, classified military project. Under the hood is a naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12 that cranks out 660 horsepower. That's Murcielago LP 670-4SV power, sent to all four wheels through Lamborghini's e-gear, 6-speed automated manual transmission, 0 to 60 in just 3.4 seconds, top speed north of 211 miles per hour. The Revent&o Roadster isn't just about raw performance either. It's packed with features that still feel futuristic. The dash? Not your typical needle gauges. This Lambo comes with 3 TFT LCD screens that mimic jet fighter displays, including HUD-style digital readouts. Even the spoiler deploys automatically at speed, just like the control surfaces of a high-speed aircraft. Only 2 owners have had their hands on this particular example. It was originally delivered in Switzerland, then passed into the care of a German collector who clearly knew what he had. At the time of sale, the car had logged just over 2,500 miles. That's barely a Sunday drive's worth of wear in 10 years. Maintenance? Impeccable. Full service history. Lamborghini certified engine papers. Comes with the original military-style shoulder bag and even the branded flight case containing that V12 engine certificate signed by Lamborghini's top brass. Number 5. 2022 Lamborghini Countach LPI 800-4. Sold on Bring a Trailer. For a hefty $2.5 million, this 2022 Lamborghini Countach LPI 800-4 wasn't just about nostalgia. It was a futuristic reinterpretation of one of the most legendary shapes in supercar history. Lamborghini only planned to build 112 of these, and this specific one. It's the only example in the Americas finished in oro eleos, a dazzling metallic gold. This beast didn't just roll off the line looking sharp. It was optioned to the moon. Over $78,000 in ad personam customizations. And that's not even including the $105,000 gloss carbon fiber exterior package. Oro eleos badging, gold Countach profile sketch under the hood, even the steering wheel got the gold treatment. Everywhere you look, it's like Lamborghini dipped this thing in pure luxury, then sprinkled some Italian madness on top. Underneath all that gold glitter is something even more potent. A naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12 engine, paired with a 48-volt electric motor. Altogether, you're looking at over 800 horsepower sent to all four wheels. Lamborghini used a supercapacitor instead of a traditional battery to boost performance. And they didn't just slap this tech on. It's all integrated into a 7-speed ISR transmission that shifts like a sledgehammer in sport mode. But what really takes this one over the top is how they blended the old-school Countach soul with cutting-edge engineering. From the electrochromic roof to the pushrod, magneto-rheological suspension, and rear-wheel steering, it's a spaceship that pays tribute to the wedge-shaped icon of the 70s and 80s. Moreover, with just 85 miles on the odometer, it's basically still in the wrapper. The seller even threw in a canvas art piece of the car in a wooden storage box. Number 4. 1971 Lamborghini Miura SV by Bertone. Let's throw it way back. Before hypercars had touchscreen infotainment and driving modes, there was one machine that defined what a supercar should be: the Miura. Not just any Miura, we're talking about chassis number 4884, the first US homologated Miura SV, which sold for 2.48 million euros at RM Sotheby's Monaco auction in 2022.
What are you going to tell your friends at the bar tonight? Oh, I didn't buy it for 25 grand. 2,250,000, he said. Advice.
Around $2.7 million at the time. The Miura SV, or Super Veloce, was the final and fiercest version of the Miura line. It came with a more powerful 385 horsepower V12 engine, wider rear wheels, a stiffer chassis, and a revised rear suspension for better handling. Basically, they took perfection and cranked it up a notch. Now, this particular car, it's got some serious street cred. It's the same Miura SV that starred in the 1971 Boston Auto Show. It was the prototype for the US market, featuring all those quirky American add-ons like reflective side markers, a 200-mile-per-hour speedo, and a single sump oil system. This red-over-blue beauty, originally delivered to importer Bob Estes before being reassigned to Modena Racing Co., went through the ringer of US emissions testing. That meant 10 days of wrenching, tweaking, and testing to get it EPA approved, with Lamborghini's engineers even installing an air pump system to vent vapors into a carbon canister. Talk about dedication. After that, it was off to the Boston Auto Show and then into the hands of its first owner, Jack Robinson from Kansas, who reportedly blasted it down the Bonneville Salt Flats. Later, it ended up with Dr. Alan Brown in Georgia, who confirmed with Lamborghini that this was indeed the first U.S. homologated SV. After Brown's passing in 2005, Miura guru Joe Sacchi scooped it up and had it fully restored by the legendary Gary Bobeleff in San Diego. That restoration was so good, it won first in class at Concorso Italiano in 2006. The car even graced the cover of Sacchi's Lamborghini Miura Bible. It didn't stop there. In 2015, it crossed the Atlantic and landed in Germany, where it underwent more mechanical and cosmetic TLC, costing over 170,000 euros, no less. Everything from dry ice cleaning to a full engine rebuild, new belts, seals, clutch, tires, you name it, it gets the work. Number 3, 2015 Lamborghini Veneno Roadster. Just 9 of these 2015 Lamborghini Veneno Roadsters ever existed. Only 9. You know what that means. It's a unicorn, and this one sold for $6 million at an online auction hosted by SBX Cars. Finished in sinister matte black with bright green verde accents, it looks like it should be launched off the deck of an aircraft carrier, which, fun fact, is exactly how Lamborghini unveiled the Veneno Roadster back in 2014. It's built to celebrate Lamborghini's 50th anniversary, and they went all out. Based on the Aventador, the Veneno gets the same 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12, but tuned to 740 horsepower. It rockets from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds, with a top speed over 220 miles per hour. But the performance is just part of the story. The bodywork is a masterclass in function meeting wild form. That massive rear wing isn't just for show, it's adjustable for real downforce. The dorsal fin running down the back? Straight from racing prototypes. Every scoop, vent, and line was designed to slice through the air like a scalpel. Carbon fiber is everywhere. Body, interior, even the monocoque. It shaves off around 300 pounds compared to the Aventador, which is not lightweight to begin with. Inside, it's not what you'd call plush, but it's not supposed to be. It's fighter jet meets Italian artistry. Verde and Nero leather fill the cabin with exposed carbon fiber and a sense of purpose. The single-clutch 7-speed transmission snaps through gears with race car brutality, and the pushrod suspension setup means it handles like it's welded to the pavement. 1.41 G in corners? That's race car grip in something technically street legal. This particular Veneno had just about 1,100 miles, It was practically brand new. First owned by a member of the Saudi royal family, it originally carried a price tag of around $4 million. It tried to cross the auction block at RM Sotheby's back in 2020, but didn't meet reserve. Fast forward to May 2024, and boom, someone pulled the trigger at $6 million, setting the record for the most expensive car ever sold via online auction. Number 2. 1971 Lamborghini Miura SV Speciale. Now, coming in just below the top, dog, is another unicorn in the Lamborghini world. The 1971 Miura SV Speciale. This bad boy hammered down at $6.6 million at RM Sotheby's in 2023. That price tag didn't just come from rarity, it came from uniqueness. It was a one-of-one factory-upgraded SV. We're talking dry sump lubrication. This was no regular Miura SV with the standard wet sump setup. Lamborghini went the extra mile with this one. On top of that, it was fitted with a ZF limited slip differential, which gave it serious driving capability beyond what even a standard SV could offer. That kind of mechanical wizardry wasn't just for fun. It was track-level performance packed into a street-legal classic. This car was a full evolution of Ferruccio Lamborghini's bold vision from the 60s, where power and elegance met to form something that felt more like a predator than a car. This Miura was part sculpture, part racehorse. Most folks might think of the SV as the peak, but this Speciale? That was beyond the summit. Lamborghini didn't make another quite like it, and that's what turned collectors into bidders at lightning speed. Keep in mind, this thing didn't just have a rare differential or upgraded oiling, it was born from the factory with those upgrades, not added later. Factory born and bred. So you get the purity of a matching numbers machine, but with the kind of hardware that made it the ultimate street spec Miura. The result: bidding war, fists in the air, and one lucky new owner coughing up $6.6 million for what might be the purest bull ever bred in Sant'Agata. Number 1. 2014 Lamborghini Veneno Roadster. The 2014 Lamborghini Veneno Roadster sold for $8.3 million at a Bonhams auction in Switzerland back in 2019. That's nearly double the starting price of a brand new Veneno back when it was launched. Only 9 of these topless monsters were ever made, and this one was number 7. Now here's where it gets spicy. This specific Veneno was owned by none other than Teodoro Nguema Obiang Mangue, the son of Equatorial Guinea's president Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo, and, well, quite the controversial character. This car, along with a lineup of hypercar royalty like a Koenigsegg 1.1 and La Ferrari, was seized by Swiss authorities during a corruption investigation. It had just 202 miles on the odometer. The factory tires were still on it. Only where? A tiny scratch on the right rear wheel. It shared the Aventador's 6.5-liter V12, but here it was tuned to unleash 740 horsepower. That's enough grunt to send this beast from 0 to 60 in just 2.8 seconds, and it'll top out at 221 miles per hour. But performance aside, the body looks like it was designed by a team of mad geniuses working inside a wind tunnel during a lightning storm. Everything about the Veneno screams aggression. Splitters, scoops, massive rear wing, and the wheels. Those things look like jet turbines. The one sold at auction had a really, let's say, unique spec. Beige interior with an off-white exterior. Some folks called it taxi chic. The buyer clearly didn't care since they dropped $8.3 million on it. That's a solid $4 million over the original price. What made it worth that? Not just the rarity, not just the power. It was the story, the provenance, the fact that it came with all the books, the tools, the original car cover, and a bit of international political drama baked right into the sale. That's it for today's video. Do you appreciate the roar of rare Lambos and the thrill of the auction block? Then you're in the right channel. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join us for more epic rides, record-breaking sales, and automotive legends that money can buy if you've got enough of it.